back to Check Please, the D&D podcast. Last time, our heroes prepared to set out on their new quest to stop a possible invasion of orcs from the west, or, at the very least, warn the authorities and provide valuable intelligence. They've gained what items they could and are now heading into the western frontier lands.
Toward the Visgarde Citadel, is there anything in particular you would like to do while traveling?
Spend that time attaching my scope to my heavy crossbow.
Okay.
I don't know how many days that will take me in general.
No, I mean, it's very little time at all. I mean, I'd say one day and you can have it pretty much done.
Oh, fantastic.
I think Soul's probably just, guiding the cart with Vera in the front.
Okay.
And, as soon as, they notice that Vera's probably got better control than they do, they take out their instrument and start, doing a travel song. Y'all recommended heartless pieces of shit.
Is it good?
It's decent. It's not the best. It's not, their telecow song.
Okay.
But it's just a very basic tune to help pass the time. I wonder, do we just sleep in our cart normally, or what do we do?
There's not really enough. There's not quite enough room in the cart to sleep for everyone. So what I would imagine you guys have been doing is that you would, pull the thing over to somewhere relatively flat, and you would set up a small camp.
Okay.
Each night, so you'd have your bedrolls, and you'd probably construct a fire.
I would like to roleplay the second night of camping.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so the first day of travel seems to go pretty much without incident. Let me go ahead and verify that with a roll here. Yeah, it goes without incident. So you guys travel west along the road, and a day's travel later puts you near the crossroads. The road here splits, and one of them turns south. It goes toward the small town of Reitberg, as well as the southern borders of the nation. It also continues west to go toward Visgarde. The area is dotted with small farms and little micro towns, just little tiny villages. Dot the whole landscape. I mean, this is all pretty much flat, rolling farming lands anyway. This is all sort of
awesome. It's Illinois.
Kinda, yeah. It's full of your typical robust Ville folk. So they're pretty much just out here, living and farming and making their lives.
Now, are they Midwest friendly, or are they Southern friendly?
These guys are probably Midwest friendly.
Cool. Soul's probably been waving to almost every farmer they've passed.
Yeah, they'll return your wave with a polite smile.
Yay! Midwest friendly is the best.
I would actually like to talk to Archie about a thing. I want to unfold him at some point.
Sure.
Explain to him stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gave you an inadequate explanation to your questions earlier, and I want to make sure you're properly educated. The dress does have a function. It is for, how would you say, social lubricant, to make sure that in the proper social situations, one is correctly received. The more appealing visually that the garment is, the more likely it is to go over well, but obviously there are other factors involved. But I hope that answers your question more accurately. Good boy.
Social goddamn lubricant?
I
Ew.
hope you never say social lubricant again in your entire life.
So gross.
It's not the first time I've said it.
I love that word.
Yeah, Archie seems to kind of understand that once you put it into phrasing he can understand. He kind of gets it. He's like, oh, I understand the concept of lubrication. It's important.
Perhaps we should not have gone straight to metaphor, but perhaps the concept is connected way enough.
He after taking in this new information, he asks if it would be beneficial for him to also have one.
Yes!
Well,
Please give
like
Archie a dress.
If you would like one, I can see about purchasing one.
Archie does not understand the intricacies of human, or not human, but the intricacies of clothing. So they just know that you're wearing one and you're saying it's a benefit. So they are also interested in owning some form of clothes.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Well, I will certainly find something for you at the next opportunity. Unfortunately, we're heading to a fort right now, so it will be a little bit. When we return to civilization, I will certainly seek something out.
Alright, Archie thanks you. So the first day of travel goes pretty well. You guys camp that night. Roll another roll here. So, you guys,
Motherfucker!
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I saw those invisible dice.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
This
So,
is the okay dice.
Yeah, you guys make camp for the night, and you kind of hear some strange sounds at one point in the night. Soul, you're the only one that kind of like clearly gets an idea of what it is.
Oh?
Yeah, it sounds like almost like a miniature localized tornado.
What?
So it sort of sounds. So basically, you're hearing the sound of grass rustling from air, but in one particular place, and it's nearby, and it's pretty faint. It's just the sound of like grass rustling as if there was a breeze. There's no breeze, not really. So it's strange for there to be air movement. Give me a knowledge arcana. If you have it, which you're bard, so of course you do. Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Arcana makes me sneeze.
Yeah, that's fair. It has worse effects on others, so you kind of lucked out that you only sneeze.
It's a 26.
It's a 26. So you actually recognize what this is based on the sound. This is the sound of an air elemental.
Oh shit!
The sound of a what?
A being known as an air elemental.
Oh, elemental.
Yes.
What do I know about those creatures?
You know that they're from the elemental plane of air. They're beings. They're sentient beings made of air, and they are sort of the spirits of the wind kind of a thing. They're often harnessed and used by mages or wizards to perform tasks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're the only one that has recognized that there is anything out there and what it is. You killed both of those skill checks, by the way.
Thank you. I would like to quietly relay this to the rest of the party. Just like, yo, don't freak out. But I think either someone's casted an air elemental here that's just kind of here. Either way, I don't know how safe we are. Can I tell how many there are?
Just one.
Just one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just one. Not really sure how I feel about that. Yeah, I would like us all to ready our weapons, just in case. Do I know how to defeat these?
You know that they're...
If need be.
Yeah, I mean, they're susceptible to... give me a knowledge planes for that one.
Okay. Ooh.
Knowledge the planes.
Nine.
Yeah, you are not quite sure if they're, like, weak to anything, but you do know that, like, you're pretty sure that normal... regular weapons aren't going to hurt them since they're made of air. So you might need like magical weapons or energy damage of some form. So hitting them with like elemental damage or something magical probably would do the trick.
At least my weapon will do something. But
yeah, if
I'd like to let everyone know.
If only the party had enough resources that they could have bought magic weapons.
God damn you. Hey,
I mean, Vera can use magic at least. You've got.
My weapon's magic. It's just not a magical weapon.
Yeah.
Well, I think did at least one of you buy a magic weapon enchantment?
I mean, yes. I upgraded Symphonia's Wit.
I chose to increase my spell. I was about to choose something to improve my weapon.
Looks like Soul's carrying the party again.
I don't think that someone could really imbue my weapon because of its unique quality, like its unique make. I think that Mellifera would have to. No, I'm talking about for like buying stuff, for buying an enchantment.
You could probably get it enchanted. I don't think it'd be that difficult. You could probably get some magic laying into that bitch.
I'm gonna just inspire courage. Just in case.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So you use one of your bardic performances and inspire courage, even though combat hasn't started.
Why can't I use it ahead of time?
Because that's fine. You can use it ahead of time, but I'm just saying, nothing's attacking you guys.
Yeah, well, I like being prepared. Okay. I'm a little skittish right now.
Why don't we just find another place to camp?
Oh, okay. I guess we could keep moving. Is everyone okay with that?
There's plenty of spots, I'm sure. Hello. Let's not do that one.
Golly, none of y'all...
Markus, I get you've fought a will-o-wisp or whatever, but you need to calm down because you're not that good anymore.
Listen, how about we start moving and
you can say hello.
Say hello.
We're gonna go.
And then you can run up to us and tell us how it went.
Yeah.
But if you're getting attacked, don't run up to us.
Yeah, just stay there and die.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't going to say it like that.
Sorry, that kind of slipped out of my mouth. So we're gonna kind of pack up our camp and keep going, I guess, for right now, just to find a different camp area to avoid that elemental. Soul has Symphonia's wit out, just in case, just
Okay.
diddling.
So yeah,
Just
you
diddling.
guys. Okay, so you guys pack up your camp and you move a little ways down the road and you set up a new camp.
Okay.
Okay.
Another perception roll.
Sure. Yeah. Hit me with another perception roll. Let's see what happens there.
I got a 14. Oh, damn, that sucks for me.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Vera.
So yeah, you lost it. Didn't follow you.
Okay, cool.
It could have been trying to deliver a message.
Archie, wow.
Archie,
pain over here.
Archie is going to ask Lovette what that whirring sound is.
Soul starts to sweat.
I am not quite certain. Because it's possibly the air elemental we were told about earlier.
Can you feed an air elemental?
They don't really eat. They don't really eat anything.
Can you pet them?
They don't really have a physical body, so no.
Are you sure it's not just Archie? He's normally making whirring noises every once in a while.
Like a computer.
Archie gives you a look.
The whirring noises he makes are very calculated. They mean something specific. This is a little more natural, I think.
Can
don't
anyone
know, I
learn
don't
how
care.
to listen to Archie?
It is possible. It probably would take some practice and some knowledge of clockwork.
The fuck?
Well, each sound he makes, each click, is in either affirmative or negative, and when compiled, they create more complex ideas.
Soul is interested, but doesn't know how to learn it.
I'm going to try and explain it anyway, but I'm not
Oh,
going
God.
to in character go into the detail, but it's very at length and complicated. He basically speaks in binary.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
so you'd have to learn binary to know what he's saying.
Okay, so Soul, just from the information that you gave from Archie, I guess Soul's gonna be like, oh, well, okay, I guess. I'm still gonna have my instrument out, I guess. Just in case.
Alrighty.
Maybe we should just go to the town and just skip sleeping.
You guys want to travel through the night?
I don't know.
Well,
Rest is important.
that's going to find a cozy little corner in the cart somewhere and curl over there and sleep.
I'm gonna go on the roof of the cart.
To be fair, we're the only ones that really need to stay awake, if anything. So,
Yeah, I've got plenty of energy. I only need 4 hours at some point.
Like, they can sleep in the car.
Yeah. Not tired?
Oh, I'm tired.
Well, why don't you sleep then? I can take care of the horses. I'll get my 4 hours of meditation when we get to the town. Alright. So, everyone fucking holes up in the carriage.
Alright, so everybody holds up in the carriage and gets uncomfortable sleep,
And Soul's just gonna keep going.
and Soul's gonna keep going. Alright?
Motherfucking.
You travel through the night, and you arrive morning at Visgarde Citadel.
Soul looks done.
Yeah. At this point, you are all pretty bushed because Soul has not rested at all, and the rest of you got kind of shitty sleep because the cart is bouncing around on this road, and you didn't really get much rest.
Perfect. Our characters feel exactly like I feel.
Hashtag relatable. This is what we get for doing this in the morning.
Yes.
Alright.
Hell, I'm awake anyway. 10:30.
Markus, I don't
What?
care.
Yes, you do.
No.
It's 10:30.
There's something very, advanced Dungeons and Dragons about this map, and I love it.
So you find yourselves at Visgarde Citadel, which is a pretty large two-tiered fort. There's an outer courtyard and an inner courtyard, so there's multiple gates that an attacker would have to break into. The entire thing is covered in towers. It looks like a nice, imposing stone fortress. There are a number of soldiers moving around doing their daily tasks, and they seem to be on a level of heightened alert. Do you want to ride right up to the gate, or what would you like to do?
Now remember, Soul is in lack of sleep mode right now. Do we have any, like, white cloth that we can just put on a stick and be like, let us in, I'm tired?
I mean, I don't think they planned on attacking us.
I don't know, there's people up in the sky, and they look really alert.
Why don't you just wave at them?
Okay, Soul waves, like, really sadly. Just kind of flailing more than waving. Hello?
I would like to cast Great Water in Soul's face to wake them up.
Alright.
just make it like a little water balloon.
Thanks. I feel great now.
The hell?
Sure. Thanks.
Can we just
Soul will remember
sleep
this.
up here and take a quick nap before we go in? I'm sure they won't mind sitting outside for a bit.
Soul is gonna cast some, like, dancing lights up closer to them and be like, make a bit of a flashing white light to get their attention. Can we come in?
There's a few soldiers that are standing around in front of the gate, and they kind of like motion you guys forward.
Okay, we go forward as much as a soul can in tiredness. Good morning.
So you said are you on foot, or are you bringing the cart in?
I figured we'd bring it up, right?
We have the cart right now if
Okay.
you want to check it or something.
Okay. So you ride the cart up to the gate. The soldiers ask what your business is here.
Alright, I'm gonna put on my top hat and hop out the back and walk over to these guys.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought you were taking a nap.
You're gonna take a nap.
it's what we was saying that we were. Good morning, sir. I am Lovette Making Bodwins. It was my traveling company. We traveled from attention to help with an impending crisis, I think.
He looks at you kind of strangely, and he says, "Well, that's interesting. Word shouldn't have made it. I mean, word might have just reached there, but it's strange that it's already gotten people here for us.
Oh.
We're very proactive.
Word must travel quickly. Well, come on in then." He signals the gate to be opened, and these two large wooden with iron reinforced panels gates swing open and allow you guys entry into the outer courtyard.
I'll turn back and give everyone the double thumbs up.
Cool. Soul just kind of like nudges the horses along, and it's like a really disheartened like nudge, just like, "Oh, sorry, I was driving throughout the night. Is there any place that I could sleep or meditate or do something?"
The gate guard directs you to a stable built along the southern wall, where you can park your cart and put your ponies in for rest. And they said that there's a few buildings there built along the southwest that should be somewhat dark and quiet.
I'll take it. I start to lead the horses over to the stable.
Okay.
I like to imagine Soul attempted to like go to one of the other buildings, but then just like slept in the stable.
Okay. I'm just going to draw in your carriage here, and go ahead and stick your ponies in that stable, and you just kind of collapse on on like a pile of hay and fall asleep. Well, start to meditate, however you want to do it.
Say levy. Soul is out. Outie 500.
Okay. You guys see there's an officer walking around the main courtyard area, which, by the way, the main courtyard area is pretty filled with people. There's a number of squads of soldiers that are forming up and sort of running through morning drills. An officer walks over to you guys, saying, you're not really in uniform. You kind of look a little out of place. By the way, the Vil's military uniforms are black with silver trim. In case anyone was curious, when I have theater of the mind this shit, their armor is black with silver trim. Okay, so the officer comes over to you guys, and he asks what your what business brings you to the Citadel today, of all days.
Good morning, officer. Sorry. We were told there was some sort of potential incursion, and we are here to provide some hopefully specialized reinforcements.
That's very interesting. We had just sent word out last night. We weren't expecting anyone to arrive for another 2 days. Well, you're in luck.
Yeah.
The commander has just authorized the use of emergency funds for the hiring of mercenaries.
Oh, good.
Soul's asleep. They can't make a comment.
That is
Would you mutter it?
Would your
It's like fucking money.
would your group be combat capable?
No.
we have been known to be. We can also assist with more simplified. We can assist with strategy if it is necessary. and helping around the fort for the next couple of days.
Interesting. He thinks on that for a second, and he says that he'll go and convene with the commander and come back with an offer.
Okay.
So he moves off to the inner courtyard.
While he does that, I'm gonna unfold Archie.
All right.
And I'll be like, Archibald, could you be a dear and help the guards with anything they might be doing?
Like the heavy lifting?
Archie nods to you and walks over to the guards. He walks over to one of the soldiers and sort of says something to them in Cog, and the soldier just kind of looks at him. Archie says something else in Cog to try to explain himself, and the soldier kind of takes a step back. More soldiers start to gather around, and Archie kind of holds his arms up in a gesture that you think probably means like hello or I'm friendly. And at this point, the guards' hands start reaching for their swords.
Whoa. I'll run over there. He is a friend. He does not speak the local language, but he is here to help.
The soldiers are wary of this being, and you, for bringing it here.
Oh my god!
They don't understand.
We find them, they won't help. Alright, let's go. I'm going back to sleep. Bring Archie back to the cart and sleep in there.
Alright, so some time passes, you guys catch up on your sleep, and you wake up somewhere time around early afternoon. At this point, you see that a scroll has been left near you guys where you were sleeping. Apparently, the officer had come back while you were still out and did not want to wake all of you. So he just left a scroll there for you guys to read once you awoke.
I assume that means that Sol has been reading it since before we woke up.
Oh, yeah, that's fair then. So yeah, Sol, when you come out of your meditation, you find it and read it. It appears to be a contract for employment.
Okay.
They want to hire you guys as short-term mercenaries to scout and report back any vital information about the unknown force coming from the west.
Just scouting. Okay.
Anything like troop compositions, troop numbers, equipment quality, basically anything that could help them and give them a military edge before a possible conflict would be useful.
Okay. So Sol kind of looks down at everyone. It's just like, y'all could have just gone to better place to sleep. You didn't have to. You know what? It's fine. I leave the scroll down and I take a walk out the stable to do some good stretching, prepare for the day. Whose name was on it? The commander?
Yeah, it was signed by the commander of the Citadel, Commander Ernst Barval.
Okay. So Sol's kind of gonna just probably wait around for everyone to wake up, because it would be better to have the whole team. Don't want to seem too disjointed. They're gonna stroll around the courtyard for a bit while they wait for everyone to get their full rests, and maybe look for people just in case.
Just people.
Just people.
No one in particular.
No one in particular. Just in case.
People look for people all the time.
Yeah, it's normal. Don't judge me. Do I need to do a perception roll or anything to look for a certain person?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. That is a 25.
All right.
But I happen to see him.
Yeah, you look around and you don't notice anyone you recognize among the crowd.
So it kind of looks a little disappointed, honestly. It's like, oh, okay. Would there be any sort of area in the fort that would have books or anything?
Possibly in the actual keep, but you're not allowed into the inner courtyard.
Okay. I'm gonna go back into the stable and take care of the horses, kind of scrape out their hooves, brush them a bit, make sure they're clean and well fed and stuff while I'm waiting for everyone else to wake up.
That's very nice.
Is everyone sleeping in the cart?
I don't think they're in the cart. I think half of them were on the hay.
I'm pretty sure I'm on the ground or something.
You're on the ground, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking druid.
This is Druid's bed, man. That's as comfortable as it gets.
If it's too comfy, it's not comfortable.
That's right.
Makes sense.
Whatever floats your taco boat, Vera. Fuck is a taco?
Someone said tacos.
Oh wait,
so
are tacos a traditional gnomish food now?
Oh my god.
You tell me, Beardy.
So Sol's been taking care of the horses, probably checking the cart, seeing if there's been any damages or anything that they can take care of. I feel like Sol probably, whenever we're in a bigger village or something, we're probably gonna buy a better cart so y'all can sleep better next time. At least that's how Sol thinks. It's man, no one got good sleep last night. Kind of my fault. I should get a better cart. Boy, everyone be okay. At least I only need 4 hours, and I can do something like that again in case it does happen.
So...
Waiting for everyone to wake up.
Yeah, so we'll pass time forward, and everyone is rested. Like I said, it's now early afternoon, and the party is awake, so...
Good morning, everyone!
Good morning. What time is it?
Oh, it's a bit past midday.
Are you keeping an eye on us while you watched again? Or we slept? Sorry, I guess I'm still a bit tired.
Well, I was taking care of the horses mostly. I don't like watching people while they sleep. I think that's weird.
I had to set Archie to not do that, so I understand.
Did anyone come to...
Oh yeah! Sol kind of just throws the scroll at everyone. Well, you should read this.
Oh. I'm going to inspect it thoroughly.
Alright.
See any of that fine detail that I can miss?
So, the main details is they want to hire you as short-term mercs, do some scouting for the army. They can authorize a payment of 1,000 gold pieces. And this is for what they would consider non-combat duties.
Alright, well,
it also has a disclaimer, or rather a caveat, that if you guys are forced to engage with the enemy, you're to be offered a bounty per enemy slain.
Ooh.
there is a small caveat here. I hope you saw this, sir. But other than that, military contracts are pretty straightforward. They don't have lots of fine prints. It all checks out to me.
Shall we sign? Should we sign?
I don't see why not. It's what it's here for, is it not?
I
You
guess.
get our money. I'll be the first to sign it.
Okay.
Would Sol sign that?
Why would you not sign it?
Why don't we talk to the commander and see? Do they even have any information, really?
Yeah, I would like to know more about what we're actually facing and if they're actually bad people.
Or is that our
something.
job?
That's sort of your job. Like, they don't really know. That's why they're hiring you guys to go and do some
they
scouting.
mostly want us to scout.
Yeah,
so
like
we don't
I said,
have to kill.
Yeah, it's a non-combat contract, but with the caveat that if you do have to fight, they'll pay you additional money.
I'm definitely capable of scouting. So.
All right. Sol signs their pseudonym
Okay.
on the contract.
Alan Smithy.
A lot of Smithy contracts these days.
Vera will sign also, then.
All right. I mean, it really doesn't even require more than one person's signature, but that's fine.
Don't care. It's
now
important.
Now it's
There's like a line for a signature, and then everyone else is just kind of
Everyone's
scribbled all over the
scribbled around
contract.
it.
I look at it. Does Archie need to sign this?
No,
Yeah, do you want
only,
Archie to sign this?
only I needed to sign it, actually.
And you decided that for us?
We already decided this when we agreed with Siva. As if we did not complete
I
this.
just don't like contracts. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with contracts? They are a very respected form of legal binding. They make sure that people don't constantly betraying one another.
The story's too long right now, so I don't know. I don't like having my name associated with such things.
I am not the most traditional gnome, but I can always appreciate a well-written contract, especially one like this with no hidden caveats, except for the one for benefit, of course.
I just don't like it. Yeah. I just don't like it. Yep.
Doing work for the military, I must admit, is a little uncomfortable, but we are already working for you know who.
Yes, but hers is a bit more secretive, and I don't have to worry about my name being on anything.
Well, you didn't need to sign this, but you did anyway, so...
Soul points to the name. It's not
Benadryl,
mine.
cucumber patch.
Fuck Kyle.
Right, did you like that? That makes no sense. Okay. Well, I hope this didn't void the contract, but...
Don't worry, you said only one name needed to be on there.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Anyways, Soul's just kind of like, well, let's go find out who we need to give this contract back to so that they can verify it.
Verify it, sorry.
We've done this joke too many times, guys! Minus 5.
Minus five.
Minus 5?
All right.
Too many times.
Jeez.
Minus 5. Here we go, everybody.
That tax is going up.
Yeah, just at Kenny's command. What's this bullshit?
Minus
Next time
5.
you make a fun.
At
I'm gonna shout
Soliana's
minus
command,
5.
thank
There we
you
go.
very much.
There we go. Minus 5. It's been done.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. So the
Oh, both me and Archie took it? Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's rough, right?
So it is 10.
Actually, hon, I just had a thought. If Saul was the ruler, would they be king or queen?
It's not royalty, though.
No, I understand. But this is just a general... I just said, it's good to be the queen. But then I thought, wait, they are they. So what would they be called? King or queen?
It's good to be the monarch. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom.
Glorious leader.
Yes.
Fearless leader.
All praise.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy! That's it.
Oh,
Big Daddy Soul.
Big Daddy Soul coming to get you.
Oh my.
Alright. So, you all turn that contract back over to the officer in the outer courtyard, and they wish you luck and speed on your journey, and suggest that you not take that cart with you if you intend to move quickly.
Oh, do you mind if we leave the cart here then?
He shrugs and says, yeah, it'll be fine just where it's at. Would you require additional horses?
Like, to travel? Oh, you're saying we should travel with just horses?
Basically, he's saying that if you want to be quick enough to avoid whatever enemy this is, you might want to have something faster than foot travel.
If we could borrow some.
Yeah, he says that would be fine. He could authorize probably 2 additional
Markus
horses.
needs a pony.
Yeah, so you've got 2, and he can authorize 2 more. So you'd have 4. 2 of them would be, military property. So you'd have to return them.
Yeah.
But
You wouldn't happen to have any ponies, would you?
Yeah, they do. They have some small folk in their military, so they've had some ponies as well.
Can ponies keep pace?
Yes. Yeah, they're fine.
Okay.
So, are we borrowing some ponies?
I mean, however many you guys need, I guess. So probably 1, and then the animals you had before were also, what were they? Were they horses or ponies?
We had horses. Me
Okay. All right. Cool.
Vera.
So that means you'd have 2 owned horses, and then a borrowed horse and a borrowed pony.
Well, actually...
Or no, sorry, you had 2 borrowed ponies, right? Because you have 2 small folk.
We
Boy.
do,
Yeah.
although I would not mind riding with someone else because I am not going to stay on horseback the entire time.
Well, I mean, you could probably fit alongside Markus on his pony.
Yeah.
That way you can jump off easier and stuff.
Okay, so you got the small folk riding together.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Just make
Shut
sure to
down.
make sure you get a big enough pony so that you can carry that big ass head of yours.
Well, yeah, I was...
Wow, that was really mean to Lovette. What
Yeah,
the
that
hell?
was very rude, honestly. I don't
Dude,
know what
Yeah,
what the fuck,
I don't
Markus?
really want to ride with
I'm
you.
not really sure what even,
That meant.
what dictated that sort of a response. I don't understand.
Yeah, I feel bad for Lovette.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lovette.
Could you see why I don't really have a lot of interest in that idea?
The
Come ride
universe,
with me.
the universe pats you on the shoulder and says it'll be okay.
Thank you, Archie.
Yeah, that's it.
Come ride with me.
Tired. He needs coffee.
Markus is being weird and shit.
Okay.
What
Alright.
the fuck is
I was not trying to insinuate, I just didn't want to waste the horse.
Okay, so you guys divvy up your animals to ride on and move out.
Soul's gonna put on their other ring finger.
Oh, really?
Just to see.
Okay, noted.
Can I do detect magic on it?
It's not magical.
No, not at all. Huh.
Nope.
Wasted time. I take it off again and put it back in my pouch.
Do curses count as magic?
Yeah?
Okay, so here's the thought. If something is a trap, and it's like a dormant magic, wouldn't the magic not be able to be detected until the trap is released?
No. It would be detectable ahead of time unless someone put some sort of
Masking?
scrying protection or masking over it to make it undetectable.
But then wouldn't you detect the scrying?
No, that's the whole point of the spell.
Things I think about when I'm tired.
So, back to the game. You guys head out of Visgarde Citadel and continue traveling to the west. Now, this is going to go off of our little Ville area map. So, you guys are kind of going off into the unknown. So, let me open up a different map, and we'll just have to kind of zoom in on it and do our best, because it is inadequate for our current adventure. So, you guys travel west, and there is a road heading west from Visgarde Citadel. So you guys can travel along that if you'd like. There is this large area here known as the Red Plains. If you see this on the map, that's good. I'll circle the actual name of the area, but the area is pretty large.
So, is there any specific portion of this that we're supposed to be scouting?
Yeah, you're supposed to be finding this force that's heading to the east and figure out what the hell it is. Because a couple of scouts reported this back to the Citadel and said, hey, there's this huge group moving this way. Like, we're talking, a couple hundreds or possibly thousands of individuals marching this way.
Okay. I don't know what the scale this map is on, but just off the border, I think, of the Red Plains. I'm gonna ask if we can stop a minute.
Yeah, you guys travel all the way to the border of the Red Plains, and the reason they call it the Red Plains is just mostly because the grasses there are a little bit more wild and unkempt. It's just this, it's not like well-groomed and trimmed up farmland like most of Ville. This is actually outside of Ville for the first time in this campaign. You guys have left the country.
Totally thought it was going to be like the grass was permanently stained red by some battle.
No, the grasses are kind of like, they're brownish, red, a little bit reddish, but mostly just brown. This wild grass stretches out for as far as you can see in every direction to the west there.
Oh, and also it's worth noting that Lovette was super hands-off this whole ride. She's like sitting so that she doesn't have her arms around Sol. She's just sitting sideways the whole time.
Sol appreciates this.
If we can stop for a moment, I think I have an idea how to help scouts this out.
Sol whistles to everyone to get their attention and stops their horse.
Okay, this will take a couple of minutes. So I'll take the first minute to unfold Archie.
Okay.
And then I'll detach his wings and attach them to me. And I'm going to just fly straight up.
Okay.
A good ways. And then I'm going to look through... I'm going to pull out my crossbow and use the scope as like the telescope and try to scout around a bit, see if I can see them from here.
Cool. Okay. You do not see anything from your vantage point, although it does increase your field of view by a significant amount. But you don't see... Actually, give me a perception check. That's probably how we should probably dictate that.
All right.
Just exactly how much you see. Wonderful. All right. So you can see a fair bit into the Red Plains, and you actually even see a few pods of movement, of motion. They're difficult to pick out individuals, but you can see like groups of things, like small groups moving around in what appear to almost be random directions. You know that this area is inhabited by centaurs, so it's very possible that that's what these groups are. But you don't see anything that matches the description of the large army-like thing heading this direction.
All right, I
So
will
it might
descend
be,
to the rest of the
it
group.
may still be further to the west.
I'll descend to the rest. So the good news is that I do not see any impending army. The bad news is I didn't see any impending army. There is certainly somebody moving around ahead of us, so if we keep moving in this direction, we should expect company. But they do not seem to be local, I would assume, based on their movements. They do not a large organized movement.
Okay. You think they're just travelers, maybe?
No,
Oh.
I think they live here. I think that they might not appreciate us going through, but that seems to be our only option.
Well, we're on horses. I mean, we should be able to outrun most folks.
And on my way to Ville, initially passing through this way, it was, as long as you are non-hostile, it usually goes okay.
Why would we be hostile? I stare at your crossbow for a second. I mean, I don't normally shoot at people randomly without them doing anything.
I'll put it away.
Oh.
Did it get really salty here all of a sudden?
Soul's still a little upset.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I don't even fight you on it, I just kind of avoid eye contact.
No.
Poor Lovette. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I look at the rest of the group and I'm just like, so, are we ready to continue, everyone?
Vera nods.
Okay, good nod. Good talk.
It's a good nod. It's really loud, too.
Yeah, good talk, Vera. And, okay, we're going, because it's just me and Lovette whose votes count.
Alright, so you guys...
Whoa!
Do you guys want to stick to the road in the Red Plains?
Oh.
Or do you want to...
Lovette said that was the only way.
Okay.
Yes, I think it is most wise. Of course, if we are going to run into an army, we might run straight into them.
But you said there wasn't an army.
I did not see one. No, but if they're on the other side of the plains, perhaps, or something of that nature.
Well, if we need to, we scatter? What would you rather us do?
I think that seems like a sound plan.
Alright, I direct that knowledge towards everyone just in case. Some people don't listen. Just a little bit louder for Markus. So, if there's people coming at us, we scatter, okay?
Does scatter mean run like hell, or...?
I mean, run different directions, but like hell.
You know, you don't have to tell Markus how to scatter.
Yes, I do.
No, I know how to do those things in a...
Yeah, but scatter in that direction, I port past the plains. And not the back direction.
Running in terror just comes very naturally to
See,
us.
you think it does, but I'm really not sure if that's actually you or not. I'm just saying, from what we've been given, what Hildy said, we don't actually know if that's actually what you are, or who you are.
Just because you don't know, just because you don't know who or what I am, even if I don't know, doesn't mean your words don't hurt.
Markus, honestly, I just can't believe you when you talk like that. You just don't sound sincere, and it just makes me want to punch you.
That's hurtful.
Such love.
Yes, so is a terrible cleric. Now, shall we keep going?
Why it's so mean?
So, let's just say, perhaps a lot of aggression is coming out towards Markus. Perhaps it involves pre-racist notions that Soul was raised on, plus his character.
Oh boy.
There's a lot to unpack there, and I'm not part of the UPS.
Yeah, so you guys travel a full day into the Red Plains, staying on the road and keeping an eye on everything. You don't really see much. You see some wildlife, you see a lot of birds, you see various like rabbits and other small plains-dwelling mammals. You see a couple. You even spot a boar at one point.
Ooh.
You see some deer.
There's plenty of wildlife and food around here.
Yeah, it seems to be a fairly open, rolling plain that goes on for a very large distance. You guys traveled a full day into it, and still you can't even see the edge yet.
We were already at edge. We're good.
That's true. That's true. That is true. You get a point reduced. Good job.
I recommend we stay on the trail as best we can. I don't know how the locals feel about...
Honestly, I think we could get so lost so easily if we didn't stay on the trail.
Yeah, because
We wouldn't get lost.
there's really very little landmarks out here. It's mostly just this flat, grassy plain. The road can really hardly be considered a road. It's pretty much just a rut in the ground that's been lined with stones.
From traveling.
It's a rut in the ground that's been lined with stones to prevent the grass from growing here quite as easily. So there's still grass poking out between the stones, but it's not 4 feet high like the rest of the grass. If you weren't on the road, you wouldn't really be able to see where the road was. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's very high. Yeah, it's very high grass.
I could disappear in this grass.
Yeah. The gnomes and halflings could just disappear into it if they wanted to.
Well,
Get
we've been at like a
completely
trot
lost.
pace with the horses, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you guys are moving at like normal horse travel speed, so it's not like you guys aren't like going breakneck or anything.
Yeah, but I assume like faster than walk, like probably a trot.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Soul really wants to gallop ahead, like really badly,
Well,
but like
I'm on your
assumes
horse,
like
so-
Lovette would like fall off immediately.
I mean, if you want to, Lovette can make a ride check to try to hang on.
You'll have to make it for me
No.
until my computer reboots, but
That's
I'm okay
No.
with that.
Soul's just gonna make it a little bit of a faster trot.
Gate.
A gait, yes.
okay.
Keep
Soul's
that
getting
in.
impatient from this travel, like not seeing anything like really new past grass and animals. Soul's just, I need landmarks! Ugh. I'm used to things being around me, and it feels really weird right now.
Seem a little tense. Why don't you pop a muse?
Great idea. Done.
All right, you pop a muse and ride ahead.
YOLO's wagons.
All right.
Never say this again.
So
I
you
don't advocate drugs, but a little tense.
Well,
So
what
yeah,
I do?
so you pop a muse, and suddenly the idea of galloping ahead seems like a really great idea
I'm gonna do it.
because it gives you something to do. So,
Lovette is breaking her no holding on rule.
all right, Lovette, you grab on, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll a ride check for you. Yeah, you're all right. You hang on, and it's bumpy, but you surviving. Soul, you ride a decent way ahead of the party. You can still see them if you turn back, but you know the path is also not completely straight either. It sort of winds a little bit. So so you're far enough away that they're sort of just barely at the edge of your visibility because of the gradient of the trail.
I want to make sure they stay in my visibility nonetheless.
Okay, so you ride out as far as you can before losing visibility and kind of stop and turn around and look to make sure you can still see them. Make a perception check.
Okay, that is an 18.
18, all right.
Markus, never tell people to do drugs.
Markus should just generally stay off the topic of drugs. I feel like it doesn't work out for him in general.
No.
Alright, so the two of you are on this grasslands map, Sol and Lovette. If you look back along the trail, you can barely see the rest of the party.
I thought we were keeping pace with them.
Oh,
I galloped ahead.
they galloped ahead.
Yeah, I thought that.
You didn't say that you did.
I didn't know that wasn't assumed. Whatever.
Vera and Markus.
That's
Would they have kept pace? That's my question.
I think we would have.
Okay.
I mean,
I would
like,
assume.
imagine if someone like goes like, yeah, okay, I have to keep it next to them.
Okay.
So-
I guess they are closer.
Alright, yeah, you're a little closer then, because you were still taken kind of aback by the sudden breakneck speed that Sol decided to start traveling at.
I like horses. Man, our vagina's probably really hurt.
Okay.
Well, that's what part of the reason Lovette's sitting sideways.
Sol, your perception check allows you to detect the fact that you are surrounded currently. You ride forward and you get the feeling that you are being watched closely. You hear grass rustling, and before you really have much of a chance to react, in front of you, basically appearing almost as if out of thin air, having coloration and clothing that blends into the grass, a centaur is going to appear on the path in front of you, and that one is going to be brandishing a weapon.
Can I attempt to stop my horse?
Yeah, you stop your horse.
I am stopped.
Yeah, you
Right.
stop. You stop your horse. You stop to turn around and check the people behind you. You see this person on the road in front of you.
Oh, he looks
I
so
like this
kind and
guy.
nice and wonderful. What was his fucking persona?
Oh, it's worth mentioning as soon as we stopped, then Lovette was immediately apologizing and picked her hands off.
So, anyway, you've got that centaur pops out in front of you on the road, brandishing what appears to be a pole axe. To your right is another centaur. This one has a long spear. And another centaur to your left. This one has a longbow.
So, Soul's raising their hands in order to be like, not here to fight. Hi.
We're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Just raised hands, just passing through.
So anyway, the three of them look at you, and the one to the right, the one with the long spear, says something in sort of a heavily accented common. They say, "Intruders, get out."
Why? We can. Just why?
You need to leave, Two-Leg.
Okay, but why? What language do centaurs speak? A different language at all?
Yeah, most of them speak Sylvan, actually.
Awesome!
Oh,
Gonna take out my Sylvan again.
No.
I'm so sorry to have caused you all distress. May I ask what the issue is? I understand that we must leave, but I don't know why.
Okay, upon speaking Sylvan, the first of this centaurs immediately seems to kind of relax a bit. They say, "Oh, you speak the mother tongue."
I do. I apologize. I should have started with that.
It was my mistake to assume that you were like the other two legs.
Well, some of my compatriots aren't exactly the smartest, but I do appreciate their company nonetheless.
What did she say? What did they say?
She looks at the other members of the party and says, "What is your business in our land?"
What did they say? They're talking to us?
I turn to Lovette and I say, how should I go about saying our business? Is it just to look around? Or?
Look, we're trying
Well-
to invading orc.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
if there is
So-
actually an invading army, we may be on the same side here. So I just want to
Soul turns around. So, we were informed that there might be an orc army coming this way, and we were asked to see if it was true and to let others know.
The centaur she tilts her head to the side slightly and says, "And what would you do if you found this army? Would the four of you stop it?"
I mean, it depends on if
What do you
they
think?
were violent and wanting to do not good things.
What are you saying? What is they saying? What's going on?
I'm guessing Vera's probably translating for me. Please calm down.
The male centaur says, "They are violent."
They are. Do you seek assistance?
The one to the right again, the one with the mohawk, says, "We do not seek assistance from two legs. Not now,
Apologies.
not ever."
Completely understandable.
They said what? Wait a minute.
Yes,
Wait.
yes, Lovette?
If there's truly an invading army, we're on the same side here. If they'll have to move through these centaurs' lands to get to the...
I lean over to Lovette and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out if they're working with them right now. Just a second.
I said, it seems pretty... Okay.
Are you in alliance with the orcs? I believe most of them are two legs, I would assume not.
The apparent leader of the group, the one with the mohawk, spits on the ground and says, "We are in an alliance with no one, for no one is in alliance with us."
Then why do you stop others from the border?
Because this is our land.
Would you rather others go around your land?
Go
How
around.
far does your land reach?
Go
Is
around.
your land everything?
Go around or not come at all. Makes no difference to me.
I turn to the others. So they want us to go around.
So,
Can we do that?
So if you look at the map of the world here.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, going around would instead of taking like 8 days would take like
20 or something, it seems like.
yeah, it'd be about 20 days to go around.
I still don't think that's right. So has Vera been translating all of this?
Yes.
Will they seek a little comment? So I'll just thrust them directly, and
Oh,
I'll
God.
climb off the horse.
I kind of like do like that hand motion where you're like doing the not kosher under your neck thing, just like
Yeah.
no.
I will raise up my hands.
Okay.
I am sorry. You said that you're not making any alliances because no one wishes to make an alliance with you.
No.
Let us help you.
Oh
We
God.
will do this as a favor to you for free. We will not bring an army through unless there is not a choice and unless it would do more good than harm to your people.
Soul looks horrified.
All right. So the
They were horrified.
Well, they said they don't make alliances with two legs. Not that
Yeah, but
people won't make alliances with them.
No, they said they don't make alliances with two legs because no one made an alliance with us. Like, they're basically saying we don't trust anyone because nobody is being trustworthy. So I'm like, hey, here's something for free.
so the Mohawk
Oh,
Centaur is just going to look back at Soul and says,
I am so sorry.
Let's see. Yeah, I
Well-
think that's about right. She's going to say, "Contain your child."
Lovette, get the
what did she
fuck
say?
back here.
Oh shit! What? Oh, what would I say?
What
I
did
turn
she
to
say?
Vera and I'm just like, just use a more dumbed down version.
It babbles at me in a tongue that I find distasteful to speak.
Lovette, she's insulted by you. Please come back. Soul is just going
Why?
full, like, noble voice now. I
Oh,
said come back.
Yeah, I climb back up and just look at the ground.
Oh, but at least you tried.
I apologize for my associate. She knows not what she did. She's very unruly at times and tends to take motions without asking the rest of us. It's an ordeal currently.
She nods and says that you I can speak with. You are of the
Thank
forest. Your people at least understand honor.
Man, I sure am glad I stopped having Sylvan as my race language. I'm sure glad I said, "Hey, Beardy, I want to stick to your setting rather than do Pathfinder's thing."
Well, come on, would you really want to hear them insult you this much?
Yeah.
It'd be terrible.
It's a good point.
So,
I don't know.
So far, everyone that has spoken Sylvan has insulted Lovette, right?
The people who don't speak Sylvan, so it's not really all that different.
Well, here's the thing: is it's like the Sylvan is like the language of pretty much all of the races tied to the earth in some way, and the gnomes of all species are the most not of this earth. Like,
Right.
anybody
But-
that speaks Sylvan doesn't usually get along with gnomes.
But in the base game, it's totally the opposite.
Well,
I
that's
could have
just-
explained it.
Well, this ain't the base game.
This is Beardy's game, bitches! Oh
Just-
yeah,
just
brother. Nico,
say it.
Nico. Okay. Yes. We could go around your lands. I do wonder, I know you seek not a alliance with any of us two-leggers. However, I do wonder if perhaps just my party could pass through. I would never want to send an army through your lands. That seems highly disrespectful, obviously. But simply as a safety for our people, we simply want to see what the orcs are doing. Or if you have more information, that perhaps could suffice as well, if you are willing to give it.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Of course! 29.
All right. So yeah, so you make an impassioned plea, and the centaur hears you out and says, "Yes, Come with us.
Of course. And Soul makes sure that Lovette is seated well, and then continues their horse, and then gestures to the rest of the party to follow the trio.
Alright, so you guys follow, these 3 centaurs demand you follow them, and they lead you pretty far off the road.
Soul seems very uncomfortable about it.
And a ways off the road, you move for probably the better part of 2 hours.
Okay.
Sort of roughly to the southwest, until you arrive at what appears to be a very large circular spot in the plains where it looks like all of the grasses have been very meticulously trampled down to create like a big circular area. And inside it, there's a number of sunshades and other sort of like non-walled pavilion tents set up. And it is just...
I'm so happy!
It's filled with various centaurs.
Soul is really excited because of books. It's just how I read it would look like. Oh my goodness.
So everything is very open air, and there's not much in the way of permanent structure. It's just pretty much a bunch of poles and canvases to create sort of some sunshades, so to keep sort of the heat down. And there's various centaurs of different walks of life and different ages, all sort of moving around, doing their own thing. As you're traveling, the Mohawked centaur introduces herself as Speaks with Dogs, and says that
I've had no problem talking with me then.
That it is her job to be the one to share their tongue with outsiders.
Soul nods politely and
she says that she was chosen for this task because she was one of the friendliest members of the tribe.
I thank you so much for your kindness. I do truly appreciate it. I can only say thank you 1,000,000 times. I do.
She says, as she said before, you are of the forest, and she has some more amount of respect to your people than she does of the manlings.
Soul kind of looks over at Lovette and the rest of the party, and is just like, oh, yes, elves are quite wonderful, aren't they? I don't believe as great as you. I mean, look at your grasslands. They're so beautiful. Soul has gone like a little bit of a fangirly right now.
Okay, I'm gonna have Speaks with Dogs make a sense motive check. She kind of narrows her eyes at you slightly, but doesn't say anything.
Have they just been speaking in Sylvan this whole time?
Yes.
And Vera is translating for you.
Alright, so you arrive at this large circular area where they've constructed a temporary camp. It does seem like their entire society is migratory. And around here you see a whole bunch of different ones. And then she leads you up to one in the center of the village who appears to be some form of leader.
Wow.
This one is wearing like this strange like floral headdress with antlers rigged into it.
And nothing else.
You get the sense that they're probably a druid of some form based on how they look and how they behave, like how they move. They seem much more bestial than the rest of their kin. But the rest of their kin definitely seems to give them, like, a lot of respect. And if any of them approach her for any reason, all their heads bow down and they speak to her in a lowered tone.
Shit.
And that's exactly where Speaks with Dogs is taking you.
Oh god. Soul just has their head bowed instinctively on the way to it. Just like, oh god, I don't know how to... Oh god, I've never actually dealt with, like, royalty. That's how Soul's brain is going right now.
Lovette hasn't been looking at anyone or speaking at all this whole time. She's just kind of been... She pulled out Archie's Sphere and just been kind of playing with it. Not really doing anything, just kind of staring at it.
Gotcha.
And turning it over.
Soul kind of looks over at Vera. This might be your grounds more than mine.
I think you're doing a good job.
Okay, I hope this goes well.
You're the one for talking.
She's a druid, though.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean we all get along.
Well, I mean, don't druids have, like, their own language?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm really nervous.
Alright, so you're led up to their shaman, for lack of a better term, their spiritual guidance leader.
Soul bows immediately.
She looks at you and says, I am known as Remembers All. I am the oldest of this tribe. Who am I speaking to?
And in Sylvan, Soul says, you are speaking with Soliana Polyhymnia.
An Elvish name, she says in Elvish.
Oh god! Soul gets a little nervous. Yes, it is.
My ears perk up.
Your kind do not come out this way very often anymore.
No, we've tended to reside in our own lands, preventing others from coming in. We're not always the friendliest. Apologies.
We are more alike than you know.
Soul nods. A very slow, but kind of like a bit somber nod. I do not know if you know of my village. And I actually never came up with a name. Beardy, help me out here.
It's the no-name village.
Wait, you want me to name your village on the fly?
Yes.
Right now?
Wow.
Yes. No.
That's pretty good.
Hold on.
Let's just say I have a name for it. I don't know.
Hagisville.
Pooperschnick.
Splort.
No, I got it. I can figure this out.
Sportsburg.
Splortsburg?
Just give me a second. I know what I vaguely want it to be. I just have to double check because I never officially named it.
So there's an Elven City name generator if you wanted to use
great.
that.
Wow. They actually have...
Dude, Philphonia is pretty good.
Yeah, I like Elil Nolor.
Yeah, I like the ones that are like, they look like, you can tell how they're put together, but they just come out like Floor Flippin' in and Nithal Calora. Dude, I can't make next week. I've got a bad case of Nithal Calora.
There.
Presidium?
There you go. Yeah.
Cletaletelos.
Cletaletelos. Oh, shit. Alright.
That's my village's name. Presidium.
Beardy, before we get started again,
yes.
I had a question.
Yes.
Would it be insulting to offer an apple or a carrot?
Oh,
fucker.
Son of a bitch.
You need to go and
die. You can try it.
No,
Please
I'm
don't.
asking.
No, I don't want to. I want to say. I don't want to see what happens.
I don't want to see what happens. Please don't.
I do not want to get cleaved in half. How about that?
My theory is that Markus is going to die.
That is fantastic.
Markus never is intentionally racist.
No,
ever.
He's only casually
He's
racist.
just an idiot.
Yeah,
he's an idiot. That's all.
Yeah, Markus is a casual racist. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't think it's offensive.
He is a neophyte. He doesn't know any better.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what they all say.
All right, members all apologizes and says that she does not know of your village, but
it's a little put out.
Sorry, jeez, God. So
all that time coming up with the name.
She says that she's never been to the Elven Forest, though she's heard of its beauty.
It is quite lovely. However, your grasslands are quite elegant as well. Gosh, it's so pretty.
She nods and says that the earth is their mother and the sky is their father, and that these places are sacred to their people.
I completely understand. We, my group here, Soul nods to the rest of the party, we were requested to go and survey a potential orc army across your plains, and I simply am requesting that we perchance are able to simply pass through, do nothing else, not let anyone else in other than our group.
Remembers All says that there is an agreement in place that those traveling along the road would be left alone. However, we have been attacked recently, so the truce is off.
Who attacked you?
Two legs.
East or the west?
East, from the
May I ask what they
direction of the
look like?
rising sun. She describes Villish people, just people from Vil. She doesn't have like a strong description, but they sound like they could have either been soldiers or farmers or mercenaries or adventurers of some form.
Soul looks very saddened by this fact.
Went into the plains and Remembers All claims that they attacked a group of centaurs unprovoked and badly injured some of them. The centaurs were able to get away, and ever since then they've been even more intolerant of intruders.
Completely understandable. If I were in your place, I would be doing the same. May I ask who was attacked in your group?
So Remembers All says that it was one of their scouts and hunters named Hair of the Sun. She attempted to make contact with the outsiders and was viciously attacked and nearly died. It was only because of the blessings of Eden that she was able to survive.
Soul turns back and looks at Markus. I mean, I know everything's been said in Elvish currently. Soul just kind of looks at Markus and is just like, dude, that's your god.
Marcus's ears kind of perk up. Did someone say Eden?
Were you even fucking listening?
Yes, I have been listening. I just can't understand.
Yes, you can. It's been all in Elvish. I thought you knew Elvish.
I didn't say I knew Elvish. I've kept that private. Fairly certain I kept that to myself.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. No, I
Do you speak Elvish?
Yeah.
So, Remembers All says that a group was attacked when they were trying to make contact with a group from Ville to inform them to stay on the road because they entered not on the road. And as per their agreement, that was unacceptable. However, instead of leaving, the two legs attacked and nearly killed Hair of the Sun. Luckily, her companion, First to Dance, was able to get her back alive. Remembers All says that, luckily, Hair of the Sun is alive. However, they have been even less trusting of outsiders of late. There is a large force moving from the west, but they are slow. And while they're destructive to the land, and while they take too much of the animals to eat, they have not posed a danger to the centaurs themselves because they're too slow.
Okay, so they're slow. That's important.
They're not nearly as fast as the centaurs, because the centaurs move at the speed of the wind, they say.
Would you presume they may be slower than us on our two legs?
No, all two legs are slow.
Yeah.
Understand, I do not mean that as an insult.
No, it's perfectly understandable.
It is simply the burden that you were born with.
Soul kind of winces. Perchance we may speak with your other members about the attackers from the east. I do wish to get this sorted out because I do think that's terrible.
I'm gonna
I don't
tug
agree
on
with.
Soul's sleeve.
I look at Lovette.
And in Elvish, I asked, could you ask for any other elves have passed by through recently? Maybe with another small person like me?
May I ask if other elves have gone with another small one, such as she? Gender.
A male.
A male small folk, such as she, pass through.
Remembers All sort of blinks and looks up at the sky, seems to think for a moment, and then says, "Yes, but this was moons ago."
I look back at Lovette.
How many moons?
3?
Alright, thank you.
I recall the scouts said that they ventured in, stayed, and then returned from whence they came.
Returned?
She
The
nods.
other direction. Is it towards the east, then?
Yeah, Remembers All points east, toward the direction of the rising sun.
Soul pokes at your pockets and just says compass.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually pull that out right now.
Oh,
and
you pull
see
that out?
where it points.
It is pointing east.
It was pointing west when we were in the capital.
We must have passed them.
Soul is very confused by your object, but yet very fascinated by it. Thank you ever so much for your information. Do you mind if we speak with your other members of your group to find out if perhaps we could take care of the civilians who happen to attack them? I do not appreciate such actions.
She says that they are free people, and that she does not speak for them. If they wish to speak to you, they will.
Soul nods and does kind of a deeper bow. They're already still kind of in their same bow, but it's just a little bit deeper.
All right.
And Soul says, I am going to go speak with your other members if they so wish to speak with you.
Yeah, so speaks with dogs will take you over to them.
Okay. Oh, this is a lot of effort.
So you move through the camp, and there's lots of them are sort of in amazement at the fact that there's two legs here. You see a lot of them are visibly angry at you for being here.
Soul has their hand on Lovette's head throughout this whole thing. Just keeps murmuring just keep the head down, keep the head down.
I know.
It's also a comfort thing to be touching someone. I'm so fucking nervous.
Eventually she takes you over to an area where you see these two centaurs speaking with each other. So you see Hair of the Sun and First to Dance, and they're conversing. The only difference that I'm going to mention is that Hair of the Sun has some injuries on her flanks. Got these long slash marks where it looks like she was struck with either some sort of slashing weapon. They've been bandaged and healed, but they still look like they might develop into pretty serious scars, all told. They both sort of look at you as you approach, and they kind of scowl.
Forgive my intrusion. And Soul's speaking in Sylvish again. May we converse with you, or at least me?
Hair of the Sun looks at you and says, I have had quite enough of two legs for some time, but if you are here, speak.
I want to know more about those who did wrong upon you from the East. I don't agree with them. I think it's disrespectful and terrible, and I want to find a way to take care of them so that justice may be served.
They were manlings, 2 legs, from the place known as Vil. She spits after saying that name.
Fine, I don't actually reside from there. 2 men. I know they're not the most good-looking creatures. Is there any other descriptors I could get about them? They're disgusting.
They wore cloaks, black cloaks.
Were they human?
She nods.
Black cloaks. Did they have silver trim?
She shakes her head no. I thought they were travelers, perhaps hunters, come to poach from our lands. I warned them to stay on the roads. I made the mistake of getting too close. She kind of runs her hand across the scar, like the wound on her side.
Oh. If I ever find these men, I will make sure they learn a lesson.
I wish you well in this, but...
Soul nods their head.
I would prefer there to be honor among your people, so that these sorts of agreements wouldn't break down.
As do I. I am used to others being taught what they did was wrong in order for them to learn to respect such things.
She kind of narrows her eyes a little bit and says, Did you come all the way to speak to me about this?
Shit. Has Vera been translating all this?
I've not translated this yet because it's actively happening.
Yeah. I suppose I have. My apologies. I will leave you. Soul goes to turn to leave and kind of looks at the bard and just gives it a bit more of a cute nod. Just yeah, bards.
Guns.
And this bard, yeah, so the first to dance kind of I'm going to have her make a perception check. She kind of looks at you and is sort of confused looking.
First to dance, more like first to party.
She's going to go ahead and she's going to actually walk up to you as you're moving away.
I turn back to look at her.
So you're wearing...
I cock my head to the side.
You're wearing, bling, right? Specifically, Symphonia bling.
Yes.
What is it?
Besides my lyre?
Yeah. Did you have something else?
I'd assume there's probably, a little badge of some kind, on their belt. And Soul just kind of looks back and cocks their head to the side, waiting to be spoken to first. So
she looks at you, and without saying anything, she produces a set of bongo drums.
Oh my god! Oh, this is wonderful. Okay.
They're sort of on a strap around her waist. So they sort of hang there in front of her, and she kind of her eyes sort of narrow slightly, and
Soul takes out Symphonia's wit in response.
She's gonna go ahead and lay down some sweet tunes here. Let's see. She starts to lay down a nice rhythmic drum line here. Nice bass.
Soul is going to use their change instrument noise, after just a couple of seconds, to make it percussion.
Alright.
Oh shit, that's a terrible roll. That was an 18.
First to dance, as she's drumming, she's going to kind of move her hands around and cast a similar spell, and suddenly her bongos sound like stringed instruments.
Oh my god! Soul looks very excited. Okay, Soul's gonna start to sing then. And that's a 32.
Nice.
Alright. First to dance, while continuing to play their bongos, they're going to also dance. And you've never seen a centaur dance before, and it is a very, very strange sight.
I've seen a horse dance.
That's because she's the first to dance.
Yeah.
She is the first to dance. Soul is so delighted.
She's jumping from her front legs to her back legs, spinning around. These are large creatures.
Very cute.
So it's a lot of bulk moving around, but with a level of grace you did not expect.
Oh, this is so cool.
Also, while this is happening,
she's still playing while she's doing this.
What?
No, while this is happening,
Nice.
I'll Lovette on what was said before.
Okay.
The figures in black cloaks, that is very important information. It sounds like someone is stirring something up on purpose.
So the impromptu performance from the two bards is starting to kind of draw a crowd. That you kind of, like you weren't already a weird center of attention anyway, now suddenly more and more of them are approaching and kind of gawking at these two-legged travelers.
Soul's gonna add their little extra spice of having the dancing lights around them. And they're gonna try to, like, have the dancing lights kind of move alongside the rhythm that First to Dance has. Mm-hmm. Kind of to showcase her a bit more than Soul.
So you cast a dancing light spell and kind of flip around First to Dance. She is going to continue... I wouldn't say this is a competition so much, but, you know, it's two bards sort of showing off to each other.
It's a jam session.
It's an impromptu jam session. So she's going to cast a spell, and she's going to start making your clothes and hair color change colors.
I'm going to use fascinating.
80s.
So, like, the color of your clothing and the color of your hair start to, like, shift prismatically.
Oh my god, this is so cool. Soul's just kind of been all over the place, really happy. I don't think Soul knows how to dance really well.
Well, it's a good thing, because First to Dance doesn't know how to sing for shit, so that's fine.
Yeah. Soul's still really singing. They used Fascinate after the Prismacolor shit happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the crowd is really starting to enjoy the show. Until you hear a loud gasp. Like someone like...
Okay. Soul looks around. They're still kind of playing, but like it's definitely slowed down a little bit.
Record needle.
Bursting out from the crowd and running over to you and the rest of your group is this individual.
Oh my god. I'm so ready for whoever this is.
She immediately pushes First to Dance out of the way and pretty much stops the music dead. And she's like, "Are you really two legs?"
She's adorable.
Oh, it's so cute!
So let me explain what she looks like. She's a centaur. She is wearing clothing that appears to be sewn in such a way to make it look like human clothing, while everyone else's dress is more like fitting of their body type and makes sense for a centaur to wear. She seems to be wearing clothes that are more modeled after what a human or a two-legged creature would wear. She's got a collection of backpacks, satchels, and other objects strung to her. She's wearing like multiple belts around her waist, and she's wearing what almost could be described as a wizard's robes, and she's got a jaunty cap with a feather in it.
I love her.
She has a look of incredible excitement on her face as she sees you, and she's actually bouncing back and forth.
What language was she speaking in?
She is speaking in Villish.
Really?
Yeah.
Why, yes, we are. We are two legs. How are you?
You're real, right? I'm not hallucinating.
Soul holds out their hand for them to touch.
She picks you up.
Oh my god.
Like with both arms. And
oh my god.
And sets you on her back.
Whoa.
Soul is very embarrassed.
I read about all of this in books.
So did I! Now Soul's like gone to just pure fangirl levels now that someone's reciprocating that emotion with them.
You can see...
I read about all of you guys in my books!
You can see Hair of the Sun, like, visibly grown.
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to meet you. What's your name?
I'm called Makes a Lot of Noise.
I love that! Oh. Is Markus actually laughing?
Yeah, Markus is actually laughing.
That's so cute!
It's okay.
It's a wonderful name.
It's accurate, so too.
Adorable. Oh, how are you? It's so good to meet you.
It's great to meet all of you. I've never actually seen a two-leg before.
Never?
Most folks around here don't really like two legs, but I've always been fascinated with the idea. How do you get around all the time? Are you really that slow?
Soul kind of looks in the direction of the horses. Kind of looks back. You know, we take a bit more time, but we still get to where we're going.
Yeah, Makes a Lot of Noise is oblivious to your gesture toward the horses.
We have a cooperative sort of society.
Wow, you guys, you're really two legs. This is crazy.
Soul kind of starts to look over at the other centaurs, just kind of like waiting for like an emotional cue of like how they're supposed to be responding.
Most of them are just sort of grumbling. This is obviously the black sheep of the clan.
Oh, I love her though.
Yeah, honestly, the more that I notice that, the more I warm up to her.
Soul's still
Makes
on
you a
the
little
back
more-
of her, right?
Do you have a nickname? I feel weird calling you that.
She kind of cocks her head to the side and says, "What's a nickname?"
It's something that someone usually gives to another, when
How about the Malon?
they are endeared to another.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like a
most
secret
people don't.
password only for them, but it's used as their name.
But my name makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, I'm shortening it to Malon.
If you like that, that is. If you don't like that, we will still call you Makes a Lot of Noise.
It's true.
I've never had a nickname before, but if it's something the two legs like,
Please
I'll...
consider
depends
the
on
great
if you
honor of
like
our
it.
society. Oh no, please don't make me call her that the whole time.
Hair of the Sun kind of like continues grumbling and walks up, gently picks you up off of Makes a Lot of Noise's back and sets you down on the ground. Soul
Thank you.
puts an arm around Makes a Lot of Noise and walks her off. Come on, sister, let's go.
They're sisters! Soul does like that like little stop-start thing where you like you want to follow. Oh, I probably shouldn't.
Markus is visibly saddened.
Soul looks back at First to Dance and ruffles the Soul's own hair and is just like, that was an amazing performance, by the way. In Sylvan, sorry.
Yeah.
That was a good performance, by the way.
First to Dance nods and smiles and says, "It was good to finally cut loose with someone else that is as talented. Most of those around here are not." She says she apologizes for Makes a Lot of Noise. She once found some books as a filly, and, well, she never quite got over them.
Soul is pausing and thinking about their response a little bit. Just says, I understand reading books and being fascinated with what you absorbed from them. Honestly, I enjoyed her exuberance. There's no need to apologize for her. She's very sweet.
First to Dance nods and says, "Well, very well."
I turn to the party. Just like, what else do I talk about?
If I may, know where the hooded figures went.
First to Dance says, "Well, after they attacked Hair of the Sun, they gave chase, but luckily we were faster. Don't know where they went now. I don't know what they were after either."
It's just all very peculiar. I don't understand why anyone would want to hurt any of your people.
Did they have any symbology on their cloaks at all? Or are they just pure black?
First to Dance says, "I didn't get very close to them myself. They did have some sort of symbol on them."
I suppose Hair of the Sun would know better, since she was the closest.
First to Dance nods.
If we were to find them, would you want us to bring them here, if we're able?
First to Dance shakes her head no. I would prefer them
Understood.
to leave and never return. I would prefer the two legs to honor the agreement struck between our peoples.
As would I.
As do I.
What did they say?
I'll tell them. I'll tell Lovette what's happening.
I like how Vera's become the translator and Soul does not give a shit. Assumes everyone can speak normally like this.
That's very Soul, though.
That's
Oh,
very
that's why?
Soul.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
assumed they didn't want anyone to know.
I think it has to do with their noble background. They're supposed to know languages. They kind of assume a lot of stuff sometimes.
I see.
You're like, everyone reads books all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
Everyone.
and that's why I love Makes a Lot of Noise a lot. She understands books. Soul kind of turns towards the direction where Hair of the Sun went and just says, I'm going to ask her about the symbol. We want to find these people and make them respect the treaty that was asked of.
First Dance says, "Very well. If you'd ever like to play more music, seek me out."
I would be delighted.
And then Soul kind of does they do a full-on polite curtsy that they were trained to do when they were younger.
First Dance bows to you as well.
Inside screaming. And then Soul turns to go and find Hair of the Sun in the direction that she walked off on.
Alright, so you find the two of them sort of near the edge of the encampment, and Hair of the Sun is explaining to Makes a Lot of Noise that two legs are dangerous, and that she shouldn't just put herself in danger like that. She's going to get herself hurt, or worse. She says as she sort of absentmindedly touches the scars on her side.
Excuse me.
She turns and looks at you, kind of scowls again. What is it
Forgive
now?
my interruption again. Would you happen to know the symbols upon the men that attacked you? First to Dance said there might have been some. We want to make sure that they respect the treaty that was in place beforehand.
Yes. I do recall what it looked like. She draws it on the ground. Basically, it looks like that. She said it was in gold thread on black cloaks.
Gold thread on black cloaks?
Yeah, gold thread on a black cloak. And it looked like it was 8 lines arranged in... There's like a broken circle with these other 4 lines intersecting through it. Or not really intersecting, but moving around through it.
I wonder if Siva would know anything about this.
Definitely pay to give her a visit, at least.
Agreed.
They attacked me after I told them. I warned them. She kind of cracks her knuckles. Maybe slightly more aggressively than I should have to leave our lands. What I didn't expect was for them to attack me so suddenly.
Did you ask them to leave your land because they were off the path?
She nods.
Okay.
Then they broke the rule.
They broke the rule.
It's their fault.
They're stupid.
They entered the plains without permission. I told them to leave, and they attacked.
Exactly.
Disrespectful.
Assholes.
Shut up, Markus. Thank you for the information. If we ever see these men, we will make sure to help them learn about traditions and respecting other people.
And we're going to rough them up a little.
Markus, God. Ignore him. He's small.
But adorable.
Debatable.
Not small enough.
Hair of the Sun says, "Is he child?"
You're not wrong.
Is this in Sylvan?
Yeah, is this in Sylvan?
Yeah.
Good.
Markus wouldn't understand.
At this point, makes a lot of noise, interrupts, and goes, No, that's called a halfling.
Soul points to makes a lot of noise and just kind of does a, correct kind of gesture.
She nods enthusiastically and she says, "They call them that because they're only half as intelligent as the humans."
Now, mind you,
Soul and Vera
has
break
no
out
idea
in
what
laughter.
you just said.
Vera's laughing, though, so...
Yes.
I feel insulted somehow.
Hair of the Sun kind of nods and says, "That makes sense."
Oh my god, that was beautiful. Soul kind of goes, "Pretty much." Pretty much, yes. And Soul kind of, is kind of having fun with this and then points at Lovette and goes, "Now what does she makes a lot of noise?"
She is...
What are you pointing at me for? What's going on?
Man, I know my books mentioned this before.
Hey, makes a little noise. What are we talking about? Could you please translate this for me?
I turn to Vera and go, "Tell her that I'm quizzing makes a lot of noise."
She claps and says, "I remember now. You are a..." She's saying this in Villish to you. You are a Gnome.
Oh, so cute!
Correct. It is pronounced Gnome. But that is
Is my book wrong? There was a letter G.
The G is silent, darling.
Yes, it is a complicated.
She kind of blinks and she almost as she's this dawning realization that all of her knowledge is wrong. And she's like, "Oh no!
It's just one letter.
How much do I? But if I got this wrong, how much of what I thought I knew wasn't right either? Well, what if I wasted
we would
all
love
of
to
this?
help you.
What if all of these books weren't right?
I can fact check them for you. In fact, that actually sounds rather enjoyable.
Sounds like Markus is thirsty. That's what it sounds like.
Wow! Jump straight to that.
You're the one you called a bartender a prostitute.
It's just like as soon as you're like, "Hey, this is an NPC that likes us. Come and join our party."
Well, I was gonna.
You're not wrong. I'd love for another character to join us.
Soul pats the poor, stupid halfling's head. We probably aren't the best people to take care of her.
Oh.
What?
Hair of the Sun is like...
I feel like you inferred more out of that than I did.
You can almost feel the anger radiating off of Hair of the Sun.
No,
I turn back to Hair of the Sun. Forgive me. He knows not... He's stupid. He's very stupid. Please ignore him.
Very well. Just want to make it clear my sister stays.
Completely understandable. It's taking me a while to train him. He didn't start with me, so I don't know what happened before I met him. I'm trying to train him to be better. My apologies.
She nods, not quite understanding what you're talking about, but accepting your answer anyway.
Malon, what do you do around here? Do you have a role in the tribe?
Are you talking to Hair of the Sun, or makes a lot of noise?
Malin. Makes a lot of noise.
Oh, okay. She says that she helps with the herbalist duties. She finds plants and other important things growing in the ground. So she finds mushrooms, she finds plants, she finds berries, nuts. She opens up her one of her backpacks that's tied to her. These are human-style backpacks that she's just kind of rigged up onto her kit. She takes out an old alchemy textbook. I learned a lot from this, and it's sort of a...
On the inside, I'm saying, oh, God, I hope it's a pop-up book.
There's so many words and not enough pictures.
It has the things where you can pull a thing and it animates whatever pops up.
Yeah, it's like, this is hydrochloric acid.
It's just someone screaming.
She produces this alchemy textbook and says she learned quite a bit about it. 2 legs alchemy from this.
In a book.
She's tried to help her tribe with this information. She also has a few other, old books that she keeps with her that she's sort of learned various aspects of human life.
Malon, if you would be willing, if you would teach me about these things somewhat, I would be happy to tell you about the outside world.
She looks at you and she's like, You want to learn from me?
Absolutely. This is an area I do not know much about.
Aww.
She actually starts crying.
No!
It's okay.
No. I look over at her sister, no.
Soul goes over, reaches out, but for her to take a hand if need be, Soul will not touch them unless they choose to be touched.
I'm kind of doing the same thing with my hands out. Do you need a hug? Do you want me to back off? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
At this point, Hair of the Sun is going to walk up and say, "Please give us some space."
Soul immediately just starts walking away.
And she says that in Village?
She says that it would be Sylvan.
Soul grabs Lovette's collar and starts dragging her away.
You can words are fine.
You can see the two of them start to have a little hushed argument with each other.
Am I the only one who does not feel right just leaving her like that?
She's still with her family.
Yes, that is important.
Soul kind of has the words come out of their mouth and then just kind of suddenly has this 5-mile stare. Yep.
So out of the crowd steps, speaks with dogs again.
Soul happily waves.
She says, "What are you still doing here?"
Actually, we're probably leaving right now.
Remember, Speaks with Dogs was chosen for her task because she was the friendliest of the tribe.
I think that maybe Malin could have be very profitable in a new kind of job. But anyway.
Who is Malin?
It's a friend of ours.
Soul kind of baps Lovette on the head.
At the pace we're moving, do we know that we will leave? I'm not sure we could get out of your territory by nightfall. I just want to be straightforward about that now, because it's not intentional if that's how it goes.
You have been granted permission to pass.
Yes, well, okay.
Soul looks at Lovette confused. Are we not going through for reconnaissance? Reconnaissance?
I was hoping we could take some time to strategize, because the situation is a lot more complicated than it was when we got here.
I look over at the rest of the party, just the fuck does she mean?
I feel like we can strategize on the way.
Okay.
I don't know how long we welcome here, so...
I wish not to overstay our welcome.
No, I was not asserting that we should. Let's go.
Righty.
Soul grabs Markus to bring him along. That's how it always goes.
Markus is on a pony, correct?
Soul is putting Markus on a pony currently.
Thank you.
Yes.
How closely tied to Eden are these group of centaurs?
Give me a knowledge religion. A knowledge religion 21. You can look around and tell that these guys are very much tied to nature. They venerate Eden to some degree. Maybe not in quite the same way that you worship the same deity, but...
Gotcha.
I mean, worship in a different style is still worship.
I was wondering if they could maybe help me with my connection to Eden, but I guess they're kind of not... They don't like two-leggers, so I guess they wouldn't...
Well, yeah, I mean, you could always talk to the shaman here and see what they would say.
She understands Elvish, at least.
Yeah.
I guess this would be a reveal that Markus knows Elvish. Cough, cough.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, he knew Elvish this whole time?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
The more I know about Markus, the more I feel uncomfortable.
So yeah, so you can go up and try to have a conversation with members all if you'd like.
I would, but I wouldn't know how to. I wouldn't want to be so bold because I know they don't like two-legged people.
Soul kind of goes over and just makes Markus bow.
Oh, all right.
You're bending him over?
I am bending him over.
Oh my!
Oh boy!
Getting real quick.
Soul just kind of like whispers in Marcus's ear and just says, "I'm going to help you. Come on.
Okay.
Do this."
Sweet. I'd like to. I don't know the protocol on how to ask, but I'd like to see if they could. It seems like Eden has stopped hearing my prayers, and I was wondering if they may be able to either help me unblock or maybe see why.
Yeah, absolutely. Remembers all, hears your plea, and says that they would commune with the spirits with you and see what the answer would be.
Wait.
So she sort of like kneels down and reaches her hands out for you to take.
Soul takes Marcus's hands.
Thank you.
I take her hands. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I take her hands.
Cool. So she starts chanting wordlessly, sort of just making these various different throat noises, and you're not really sure what's going on. Like, this is not the typical Eden worship you're used to. And after about a minute, her eyes kind of like flicker open. She had her eyes closed the whole time. Her eyes flutter open, and she kind of like looks at you strangely, and lets go of your hands, and then stands up, kind of looking down at you. And she says, "I understand why Eden has not spoken with you."
What happened? Is it something I did? Something wrong with me?
In a way, she's finding it difficult to put it into words. She says, I see that you were a worshipper of Eden."
Soul kind of looks at Markus and like tilts their head.
Wait, were? I am.
She shakes her head no. You are something different.
What do you mean?
It is almost like you are... She's not sure how to like put it into a metaphor. She says, you wear the shell of one.
What?
Soul looks very concerned at Markus.
Wait, I wear the shell of a Eden worshipper?
She nods.
Huh?
Soul's eyes kind of narrow at you. Taking over bodies now, Markus. God damn it.
No, okay.
Oh, is Markus freaking out?
A little. Just a little.
Okay, so Soul starts to rub Marcus's back in like a very gentle, like soothing way, and then brings him into a hug. It's okay.
That's some information that has me concerned, mainly because I have an idea of what that means.
Soul's just petting your back and just letting you talk. Just like, yeah, it's okay. We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay, Markus. You're still you.
Oh! Not according to her!
How are you guys doing over here?
Soul grabs Marcus's face, brings it in front of their own. They look Markus directly in the eyes. Markus, it's going to be okay. No matter what's happening, you are still you. This person I'm talking to right now is the only person I'm talking to currently. And it matters. Right here, right now. No matter what's happening, we're gonna figure it out. Okay?
Markus is quite shooketh about this information. It's okay. It's as if his brain has just like he's not really processing much at this very moment. You might have to lead him away because he is
okay.
This kind of information.
Soul's gonna pick up Markus bridal style and take him away. Forgive me for him. He's very confused right now. We will take our leave. Thank you so much.
Remembers all nods.
Broke the cleric.
Soul goes, kind of looks at your pony, is unsure how to put you on properly right now since you're kind of a crumpled mess. Looks over at Lovette and is just like, would you mind riding currently? I'm going to take Markus on mine so I can make sure he doesn't fall off.
Everything go okay back there?
He's a bit messed up right now.
I heard the screaming.
So, Remembers all will kind of walk up and asked to talk to Soul in private.
What? So Soul kind of just like awkwardly lays Markus on the ground. It was just like, of course. I mean, of course, yes.
Alright, so she is going to walk you into another area.
Okay.
Alright. So she kind of walks you away from the group and she says, I would be careful with that one.
Why?
He is more dangerous than he looks. And I sense something sinister.
Is his new god evil?
She shakes her head. He has no new god.
He doesn't.
No. The power that he uses is his own.
I see.
He seems to wear the skin of another. I've never seen anything quite like it before.
Soul kind of looks back at the party. They're just, I'm guessing, that Lovette and Vera are probably just standing over him, waiting for him to uncrumple. Thank you for the information. I don't want it to be so. I know I'm mean to him, but I actually do care for him. Stupid as it may be.
Perhaps you will be an influence on him then. I sense an emptiness that I do not understand.
Well, if you don't understand it, I'm nowhere near. I thank you for the information, though.
She nods.
I worry. Is there anything else that I may need to know about my other group members? Or ones who may be following? Smile. Awkward.
She seems somewhat confused. No, the rest of them seem adequate.
Adequate, yes. Yeah, I would agree with you. Thank you. Again, thank you.
She wishes you well on your journey.
Soul does a last final, the proper curtsy they were raised upon. And kind of lifts himself back up. And does kind of like a walk away that's a bit more taller than they normally do.
Okay.
But it's more talking back in Sylvish and Elven is making them act a bit more.
Gonna bring it back
like
old memories, yeah.
Yeah. A bit more of a straight back than they've been doing. They've kind of been slouchy. Alright, so they walk back to the party.
Alright.
Okay. Alright, let's get going!
You know a thing?
Oh, honey.
Oh, no!
No, I don't. It was more me than you, sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, Markus. It's fine.
Oh, Markus has a worry, has a concern.
Oh, honey, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together, okay?
Okay, I am fine. I am concerned for Markus as a character. Like,
And how does Markus feel?
Markus is shooketh, as I said. He is worried that essentially his knowledge of himself. In my head, what I'm thinking now is Markus has forgotten that he was, I don't know, maybe an entity. Take possession of the Markus shell and has integrated all the memories and completely forgotten that whoever marked the entity that possessed Markus has forgotten whatever he was then. So
is Markus telling the group this?
No. This is
just you. Okay.
Yeah, this is just me talking to you.
Okay.
So it's weird. He is having this internal kind of, well, who am I? Am I this? Am I this? Am I this? And his brain is kind of just like at the moment.
Yeah, Soul's gonna take you on their horse then. Just take care of you. Soul's gonna take care of you for a bit. Soul kind of like puts Markus in front of them on the horse.
He's just a babbling mess.
Yeah. Tries to sit him up properly, but he kind of wobbles a little bit, so Soul has to like kind of use their arms to like adjust his position half the time.
I don't suppose you'd like to share whatever it is you discussed, Vexel?
No.
You don't have
to. No, it's private affairs. I'll maybe in a bit. We'll see. But if we all wouldn't mind getting on our horses, now that Soul's like properly adjusted while still adjusting Markus constantly, shall we get going and figure out this orc army and stuff and, stick to the path and never get off of it?
All right.
Yep.
Well,
shall we go?
How are we going to discuss as we ride? That it is we won't be going at a very fast pace if we do that.
What?
What?
I'm confused. What did you say?
how are we going to discuss our plans while we ride?
Well, Trot.
Okay, we're going to lose some time that way, but I suppose it's faster than just sitting here.
Wouldn't we lose time if we stayed?
Yes.
Anyway?
Yes, I
Or
know,
went back.
That's what I said. I said that.
All right, onward!
All right, so back on the southern continent map, you guys move back onto the road. You travel northwest until you arrive back on the road. So, you guys travel northwest and you return to the road here.
Mm-hmm.
Give me perception checks, please.
You got it.
Sure.
Oh, God.
9.
Speaks with Dogs was traveling with you to make sure you got back onto the road, and they say that the army, the group that's traveling to the east, they march in a strange way. No, she's not entirely sure if it's normal or not, because she's never seen a two-leg army before. But it travels like one large force, and then ahead of it is a much smaller force. She does not understand if this is if these are scouts or if this is some other sort of strategy that they're taking. But whenever they camp, whenever they stop moving, a large group of them camps together, and then the other force that stays ahead don't ever camp with the rest of them.
Huh.
She doesn't understand what it means or why they would do such a thing, but that is how they.
So they just keep moving?
No, they all camp for the night, but they don't camp together.
Yeah, they're separate.
This forward group always camps by itself.
Huh.
The forward group is the small one or the large one?
It's the small one. The forward group is the smaller group. She says that she wishes you luck, and if you fail, she wishes you a good death.
Oh,
Thanks.
thank you.
All right, she rides away.
Goodbye. Fuck, man, I thought they'd like us better.
Definitely could have gone better. But
Definitely could have gone better.
I mean, they
Of course.
didn't attack you guys. I think that went about as well as it could have.
Soul is disappointed because they want everyone to be their friend.
And everybody usually
Although-
is just their friend.
Yeah, kinda. They have this odd expectation of people liking them.
Except for Biff.
Biff showed off. Biff thinks he knows me. Biff doesn't know shit.
It was
Talk to
literally told
dogs.
your life story by Symphonia.
Where did Talk with Dogs say the army was?
They're to the west. They're moving east.
Okay.
They're moving to the east, and they're moving sort of along the road.
Alrighty.
Awesome. I guess we'll have to, keep going forward on this path as long as we're in the Stentar territory.
So is our plan to just walk the west? We don't
No,
really
our
know.
plan is very complicated, and it even got more complicated after the last part, because here are the moving parts as I see them. We have an impending orc army that, if we do not stop them, they will probably slaughter all the other centaurs. So that is the top priority, stopping them from getting there. Also, it seems that our friends in Ville might not be as friendly, but I think more likely there is some sort of organization trying to start trouble between the sides. And most likely to cover the attack so that the village army cannot come and reinforce the centaurs. Part number one is just going to take a lot of doing. I'm not sure how we're going to stop an army on our own, but I don't think we have time to do anything else.
So I want to interject real quick, because I wasn't sure if maybe I wasn't clear on something. The centaurs are really not concerned much about the orcs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they're so much faster than the orcs.
Oh,
Like, they could literally pull up stakes and just get the fuck out of the way, and the orcs could never catch them. So
Okay.
they're not really in any danger. So if I led you to believe that, I apologize.
well, I just kind of assumed that they're cocky
Yeah.
shits. I feel like there's a big bad coming on, not prepared for the kind of shit that's coming down to their doorstep.
Well, that's very true if they were going to try to fight them straight up, but that's not how they would fight anyway.
That's
No.
not their way.
They fight like assholes.
So glad we did not have to fight the centaurs.
I don't know.
Very, very much so. Something. Most halflings, I believe, would have the fear of being stepped on.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're into it.
Whoa.
Anyway,
We're not here to kink shame.
Next-
All right.
So, Markus is still on my horse, though, because I'm trying to,
Mhm.
keep him fucking calm.
Yep.
I think he's getting better. He had a moment.
Yeah, Soul's been kind of just, petting his head. Just running their fingers through his hair. Just kind of trying to anything. Just attempting. Just like, does this feel good? Does this feel good? What makes you happy?
If you have to ask, you're doing it wrong.
Uh-huh. Well, Soul's not asking. Just like, there's a lot of thoughts. They're trying to see like your emotional state. So they just kind of do one thing until like it doesn't seem it does anything. So they just switch to another motion.
He's doing better. He's working through his thoughts. He does so quietly.
So, if you guys are so convinced that the centaurs are fine, then fine, but I'm still worried. First of all, for the village people, and second of all, the smaller force. I've considered, what if it is refugees or some sort being chased by the army? It would be strange that they would camp at the same time, but it would explain why they are separate.
Either that or they're a scouting group. If their bodies turn
Perhaps.
up, maybe then the following group can find out whether or not there's anyone attacking. I don't understand strategy per se, but it's the one thing I could think of.
Nor do I understand orc society.
True. I didn't read a lot about them. I just wasn't as interested.
Like nervous laughter because Soul's just like, they aren't as pretty as other creatures.
The orcs themselves don't really fight much. It's all from other perspectives anyways.
Can I do a knowledge history to see if I know anything about orcs or why they would do something like that?
Yes, you're welcome to.
Okay. 23.
The orcs, as a race, they have had a rough go of things.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have been either pushed out of various places. They've been defeated in wars over the course of history. They've been rooted out of mountains. They have been purged from various entire regions of the world. They're not well liked. They're hated in most places. They're seen as dangerous and bestial barbarians. There's a couple places where they still have fairly strong little mini empires. The only ones that are around you guys are still really, really far away. So if I was going to put this on Earth terms, if you guys were in, say, you lived in England, okay? The nearest orcs would be in, like, Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
So it's a long distance away.
So them being here is super, super unusual.
It's super, super unusual, yes. As far as, like, their culture and society, orcs are... I based pretty much every group or country or race off of some Earth equivalent to some degree.
Okay.
Orcs were based off of the Aztecs. So they are a warrior culture. They have very high population. They have a fanatical religion. Their warriors believe if they die in battle, they receive an eternal reward. They typically fight with total ferocity.
Oh! In relation to Game of Thrones... The beginning tribe that Khaleesi's in.
Oh, the Dothraki? They're more based off of like Mongolians.
Oh, okay.
These guys are much more religious.
Okay.
And they are much more about inflicting and receiving pain.
Oh.
Their homeland is actually an incredibly dense jungle. They don't use iron weapons. At least they hadn't in the past. They use obsidian. They have like obsidian.
Holy shit!
Obsidian studded. Like it's not like solid obsidian. It's obsidian studded bone or wood. So they would use like a club that has obsidian on one edge to make a sharp edge, and then they would use that as a sword.
It's like the Aztec weapons.
Yeah, like actual historical Aztec weaponry. Yeah.
Cool. What language do orcs speak?
Orcish.
Orcish? Okay.
Yeah, they have their own language.
Crap.
They're not regarded as a friendly race, but they also have not been known to go on any sort of offensive conquest in a long time. They're sort of a race on the defense, typically. They're losing territory over time, not gaining it.
So Soul's putting everything kind of off the top of their head. This is what I read. I don't know, like, a lot past that. They like pain. They like giving pain and taking pain, I think.
So sounds awkward. Why do you know that?
What more information can we gather from...
What kind of books are you reading?
Elvish ones?
Okay.
What more information can we gather from scouting this army that we don't know already?
Well, once we're out of the plains, because I don't think they're in here yet, we can move around the path.
I thought they were in the plains.
Are they in the plains yet?
How else would the centaurs know?
Beardy?
Oh, they're in the plains.
They are in the plains. Okay, so we can't go off the path then to...
Do you mind if I took another aerial observation?
think they're quite wise.
All right.
I guess.
I'm gonna do the same process as before. Pop out our
So it's nearing evening, by the way.
Mhm.
So the sun is getting low in the sky to the west. You use the wings, you fly up, and you used your crossbow scope, and sure enough, you can see two camps. One is large, one is enormous. The large camp you would guess to have between 300 and 400 individuals in it, and the large camp to have something in the range of 5,000 to 6,000 in it. So it's an enormous force. Now you're able to see the trail that they've left, where they've just sort of just cut a swath through the Red Plains by trampling down the grass, but also by killing and pretty much eating everything they could on the way to keep their army supplied.
scorched earth.
So it's sort of a scorched earth, yeah. There's fires burning, there's like you can see the remains of like trees, like a random tree here and there that they would have cut down for use. So they're pretty much leaving nothing in their wake.
Can I make out whether or not they're both the same force? They're both orcs.
Give me a perception check.
You got this, Lovette. Get a good roll.
Bam. So
20.
You got a 20. You're able to tell the difference, yes. The forward group is orcs. The rear group, the big group, is also orcs. The forward group, though, they have different banners. You see that they're currently striking camp because it's getting dark, or they're about to start resting soon.
Mm-hmm.
Their banners on the forward camp, they look like two almost interconnected lightning bolt-like symbols.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the larger group, and you can see a collection of different symbols. Some of them look like birds, some of them look like suns, some of them look like snakes, but just a lot of different banners in the bigger group. So if you had to guess, they're different clans or tribes, and only the one clan is camped forward, the one with the two interconnected lightning bolt symbols.
And the sun is coming down, you said?
Yeah, the sun is low in the sky to the west.
Okay, before I come down, I'm going to put away my crossbow and enjoy the set from it.
Alright.
Soul's just like looking up. It's taking an awful long time.
What's Lovette doing?
Maybe she can't see anything.
Maybe we should throw a rock.
Although I probably have both arms like tight over my coat because I'm super nervous. Every time I pull out the crossbow, it's like...
Don't want to drop it.
No, I want to drop it. It's really hard to make it exist. And I'll come back down.
Did you see anything?
Anything interesting?
Yes, I saw quite a lot. So, it seems that whatever is going on, this forward group is definitely somehow different from the others. I don't know if they are aligned or not. They might be refugees, like I said, but they may be the lead group or scouts. I think that they are probably some sort of outcasts or something of that nature, because all the rest of them are really a cavalcade of different groups, and only the one of them are outcast.
They're actually camped far enough away from each other that you think that, yeah, the camps are definitely far enough away from each other that they're not interconnected in any way. Like there's no like people running back and forth between the two camps.
Should we maybe talk to the first camp? Does anyone know Markus?
I do not.
I do not. Do you? You know many languages.
That's not one I decided to study.
So is this a small group? They're like, how many? 15? 20?
Not that kind of small. More like just 300 or 600, I believe.
In the first
Something of
group?
that range. Yes, in the little one. The other one was several thousand. I mean, I wasn't counting each individual orc, but...
Vera's not okay with this.
Soul's not okay with this. They both look very sweaty.
We're gonna have to do some serious things.
I don't really think there's much to talk about. From what I know, orcs' main language is typically their swords.
Oh, none of us are strong enough to do this.
We were told to get information. We have received information, and we can try and get the others ready for this attack.
Alright, let's hurry up and head back as fast as we can.
Are we sure that is the only option? How comparable was the force at the fort compared to this?
If this force got to the fort, it would be a really, really bad battle. Even though the Citadel has strong walls and towers, it would be a very nasty siege. If the orcs were to attack the Citadel, it would be nasty. If they were to bypass the Citadel and get into the farmlands, it would be a slaughter. The village army could raise up a defensive force and beat these guys with not too much difficulty, but in the meantime, it would be heavily damaging to the western side of the country.
I don't feel right just leaving it up to what we know is not strong enough of a force.
What else is our options?
We're too weak. We're only
don't know
4
if we
people.
could-
What do you think we should do?
If we could mislead them or turn them against one another.
I don't agree with that.
You don't? Why?
Because I don't know them.
So? How does
There.
that make it not work?
A defensive side is smarter than going and pillaging. Either way, I
Nothing.
don't...
Pillaging? What?
Soul's like really conflicted about how they're feeling lately when it comes to like wars or fighting.
I'm trying to prevent as much fighting as possible right now. I'm trying...
Then what
Isn't
do
that
you
what I
want
was
us to
doing on
do?
before?
Because you speak in circles all the time. Just straight up, what should we do?
I don't have a plan yet. I thought we would discuss it.
Soul just kind of leaves their arms out and just waits for anything. It's just,
I got nothing.
Did
Sorry.
you see anything that could give us a clue on why there's 2 separate groups?
The only thing I know is that the forward group is much more uniform. The others have the many banners, there seem to be many clans. The forward group is all one group. I assume they are some sort of outcast because they were not communicating in any way.
It could be that, or they could just not get along with the other groups their own right. Maybe they feel
That's
superior?
That is possible as well. And if we could somehow use that to our advantage, we could turn this around before it reaches the fort.
I feel like the only problem is that even if we try to negotiate them into attacking the other force, there's only... how many? 300 of them?
Well, it should slow them down enough that the Citadel could handle the rest. It's, I think, better than doing nothing.
Warning people isn't nothing.
Well, we can do both of those things.
Not if we die. We can't.
No, not if we die.
I think we should diplomacy check to see if we can get the centaurs to help us take.
Markus, what is a diplomacy check? What does that mean?
No, I'm out of character. This is me
No.
talking. Okay, in character. I think we should go talk to Remembers All. See if they'll not help us, but help themselves.
I think their helping
Oh,
themselves is getting the hell out.
Yeah.
So you think that our best option is to go straight back to the fort and just wait for these guys to show up? And do we participate in the battle?
Part of me thinks that better option is to help them wipe out these
Soul lets out a little like very quiet elvish whimper that says, "I want to go home."
Oh.
I do not want to leave these people. I don't want to do more damage than I've already done. If we just let them die, I will never let them down.
We were told not to confront them.
It's true.
That is true. Well, I was wondering if some of our party have skill in illusions. It's not my forte, but I have a little bit up my sleeve, you know, most gnomes do. If we could perhaps set up some traps or some tricks, something to make them think that they are antagonizing one another. I do not know if this will work, but...
Do you guys think that we could pit them against each other somehow? God, where are the mushroom people when we need them?
Let's just go back to Hildy and ask her for help.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh god, we're screwed.
I can, if I agree to go back now and work on a plan at will, that is fine. But we are not just running away from it. I'm not running away. If you want to, then that's fine.
Question, Beardy.
Yeah.
Do we know the location of the dangerous Weaver Forest?
Yeah, roughly.
We were in it. Well,
No.
part of it, right?
No, you were not.
No.
In it.
Oh,
No.
you're right.
Oh no, you never
We
went
would
to
be,
that one. You'd all be dead.
but we do know that there's the Death Forest, right?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, it's on the wrong side. I mean, it's on the south side of Ville. Like if you're looking at the big map here.
Is it only that one, or is it both of the green?
Only that one.
Oh,
The other one is kept clean.
It's just too far.
If only we could.
My only thought was that going back because we're scouting is to help them know how much enforcements we need to build up so that we can defend.
That
because
is true.
otherwise, people are going to die far faster.
I just feel, alright, well, I scouted ahead enough that we have this information. Let us skip resting for the night and move back.
Soul's ears kind of go down a little, just again.
I do still feel like we should tell.
The centaurs know about the orcs.
I know, but I'm not telling them. I think we should try to diplomacy them into, hey, these guys are invading your area too.
They know.
We were trying to do that already.
Yeah.
It is not going to happen.
They don't want to work with two-leggers.
We would have to solve the first attack problem
before they would work with us.
Did anyone make a record of that symbol that was done?
Vera did.
I did.
Okay.
She's smart.
Perhaps that is what we can do next then, is find out those culprits as fast as possible. If we move quickly, we could procure more allies.
That's true.
Shall we run through the night?
I think that'd be your best bet.
Alright. Adjust Markus so that he's properly on the horse, because he's kind of been sliding all over the place.
Okay, so you...
Yeah, my body.
So you spot their armies, and you travel back to the east, back to the Citadel?
Yep.
Okay, so you ride through the night, and through the next day you arrive. You are fatigued as a group, but you arrive back at the Citadel.
Thanks for listening. As always, special thanks to Protagonist for the theme music, and Emily Roll for Fantasy for this episode's soundtrack. Please leave a like or subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment if you have any suggestions. Until next time,